citizens! Hey guys, I am back for the part 2 of our Daniel story. I heard so many of you enjoyed the first one, but don't worry, that one was just a tip of the iceberg because this particular one I'm about to tell you is way juicier than the first one. So get comfortable, get what you need, relax and enjoy because this one, you did not see it coming. In the part 1, I told you Daniel was now brought into the king's palace and was made one of the wise men or councils for the king. Actually, he and his friends. In the second year after all of this happened, the king Nebuchadnezzar had a dream. This type of dream he had never had before. He was puzzled about it. He was disturbed. He didn't know what this dream was all about. He didn't also know how to get the interpretation. Because he knew that his magicians and astrologers could be very tricky, he told them something. He said,
"The dream is gone from me.
Therefore, you must tell me the dream and interpret it, or you shall be cut in pieces."
So for him, the best way to make sure he's getting the right interpretation was to ask them to tell him his dream first, then provide the interpretation. How is that even possible? How can you tell somebody else's dream when you were not in the dream?
Your Majesty, no man on earth can reveal the dream you had. But tell us the dream, and we will give you the interpretation.
But the king refused and actually gave an order to kill all the wise men in the province. I don't know why he did not invite Daniel. I don't know why he did not invite Daniel's friends as well before taking out such a rash decision. But anyway, that's what he did. So Daniel only heard about it when people came to kill him. And Daniel said, "What's going on?" The servant told him the king had given an instruction or a decree that they should kill all the wise men. And Daniel was like, "What? We're going to die for something that we were not even given a chance to try?" And he said, "Please take me to the king."
Grant me but a short time, O king, and I shall reveal the mystery.
You have your time, Daniel. The execution is stayed.
Now, friends, take a step back and think about such a risk Daniel is about to take. What in the world was he thinking, promising the king that he would tell him his dream and the interpretation? But he did. He took that risk. And you know why he took the risk? Because he was 100% sure of the mighty one that he served and he worshipped. He was sure that the Almighty would give him the dream and the interpretation. So he was ready to take that bold step. The king agreed and said, "Okay, go do your thing. I'm gonna wait and see what happens." So that decree to kill all the wise men was put on pause. So Daniel goes back home. He and his friends, aka his brothers, do you remember their names? Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. Good job. They go back home and they start praying. That night, the Almighty revealed the dream to Daniel. When Daniel woke up, Daniel was thankful. He was so thankful about it. He praised the Almighty. He worshipped him. He glorified him. He thanked him because he knew that he had saved them from being killed. The next day, he went before the king and he told the king, "I'm here. I'm here with your interpretation." And the king was like, "Okay, let's hear it." Daniel started by, first of all, glorifying the Almighty and giving him the praise. Then I told him, nobody on earth could have done this. Nobody on earth could have told you your dream and the interpretation. Only the Almighty can do this. Just so you know. After giving the praise to the Almighty, he told the king the dream. And the king's dream was a statue with a head made of gold, shoulders and arms made of silver, belly and thighs made of bronze, legs made of iron, and feet partly made of iron and clay. And while he was still watching this statue, there was a stone that came from nowhere except from the Almighty, struck the statue on the feet where it had the clay and the iron, and crushed it. That way, everything else about the statue crushed down. And then that stone went ahead and became a mountain that was established on earth. He said, that was your dream, and now I'm going to tell you the interpretation of that dream. You, King Nebuchadnezzar, you are the gold, because the gold, the silver, the bronze, the iron are actually the 4 kingdoms. So currently, he, King Nebuchadnezzar, is the gold because he is powerful, and there's not going to be anybody that will be as powerful as him. But when he goes, another kingdom will arise, which will be the kingdom that is a little inferior than his kingdom, which is the one with the silver. Good job. And then after the one with the silver goes, there will be a 3rd kingdom, which is the one with the bronze. That one is also going to be a little inferior than the silver one. Good job. And then after that, there's going to be a kingdom made with iron. The one made with iron is going to be pretty strong, because they're going to have people that are going to be resistant and resilient. However, it's going to be divided into 2 parts. The clay part, which is going to be actually really weak, and the iron part of it, which is going to be strong. But there's going to be a time when a stone will come and destroy that kingdom, because it's not strong, it's divided. And that stone is going to be from the Almighty, and it will come and establish its own kingdom on earth forever. When the king heard this dream, he fell on his feet and just worshipped the Elohim of Daniel. He did that because Daniel had actually started by ascribing all the glory to the Almighty. So it was easy for the king to fall on his feet and glorify the Almighty and say, thank you. Thank you so much for giving Daniel this revelation. Guess what he did? That day, he decreed and told everybody else that Daniel's Elohim is the mighty of them all. He also made Daniel the head of his province, and also gave his friends, remember their names? Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. Good job. He gave all his 3 friends positions in the province because Daniel asked him to. And that, my friend, was how the Almighty came through for Daniel and helped him not to get killed, just like every other wise people in the province. Phew! Imagine if Daniel made that promise and ended up not telling the king his own dream. I just wonder what could have happened to him. But thank Yahweh for being faithful and coming through for Daniel. So what did I learn from this story? I learned to always put my trust in the Almighty, knowing fully well that he's able to do all things. There really isn't nothing that the Almighty cannot do. He can choose not to, but there's nothing he really cannot do. So I learned to trust him more, put my hope and my faith in him more. I also learned to talk about him everywhere I go. Daniel, when he came before the king, he said to him, I'm not going to interpret this dream by my own strength. I'm not going to interpret this dream by my own wisdom. I am only going to interpret it because the Almighty will give me the interpretation. It's him who will reveal it to me. And he's not revealing it to me because I am the wisest of them all, but because he just wants to show mercy. I love that. I love that Daniel did not take any praise to himself, but he ascribed all the praise to the Almighty. And that helped because when the king eventually wanted to be grateful, he knew where to channel his thanksgiving to. He didn't praise Daniel. He didn't worship Daniel. He worshipped the Almighty because Daniel already told him that he didn't do it by his strength. So I learned to always ascribe all the glory to the Almighty, no matter what. Knowing fully well that he's the one who makes us who we are. He's the one who gives us the wisdom. He's the one who gives us the guidance. So, my friends, from today, remember not to be prideful and claim that everything we are, or everything that we know, or everything that we are about is just by our strength, but to remember to ascribe all the glory to the Almighty because he deserves it. I also learned to be very prayerful. If Daniel wasn't prayerful, he wouldn't have gotten the interpretation. Because when he heard about the king's decree and went before the king and made that big, huge promise, he went back home and he prayed. He prayed with his friends and asked the Almighty to please reveal to them what the dream was. So he did not panic. He was not scared. He did not go home crying because it was a very big task. It was a huge task for him to fulfill. But he didn't go home feeling defeated and crying. He prayed to the Almighty. So I learned to pray, bring all my problems, whether huge, whether small, no matter the size, to the Almighty and ask Him for His help. Finally, I also learned that it is the Almighty who lifts us. The Almighty Yahweh lifted Daniel from being just any wise man to one of the chief leaders in the province. And when he got into this position, he remembered his brothers. He said, please, can you also assign official positions for my brothers? He didn't want to let them behind. Oh, that's also what I learned, is that when I get higher and I climb higher in the ladder, I remember my friends. I remember my family, my brothers, my sisters, my neighbors. I remember people who were with me while I was down, and I come up the ladder with them. So there was just a lot packed in this beautiful story. And now it's your turn. I want you to tell me in the comment section, what did you learn from this story? Or what stood out from you from this beautiful story? Thank you so much, guys, again for joining me on today's video. Let me tell you, if you think you enjoyed the part 1 and the part 2 of Daniel's story, wait for the part 3. It gets juicier and juicier and tougher and tougher. I promise you that. So come back to this channel because I am going to put the part 3 very soon and you don't want to miss it. Subscribe if you haven't, join the family, turn on the bell notification so you know the next time I post a video, and like this video. It gives me encouragement that you like what I do and makes me want to do more. Also, share this video to as many people as you know, to your friends, your family, share it to your neighbors, to your classmates. Let others enjoy what you are currently enjoying. I hope you enjoy the rest of the week, and I will see you guys in my next video. Mwah! Bye, guys.